stuff. But yeah, I'm very excited to be here with all of you today. And as you know, we have Champions U every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And now we've launched them in the morning. So at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're also hosting them as well. And I don't know if Atilia's here. Usually she's on, but big shout out to her for hosting it in the morning for the Europeans. And, you know, of course, we always have rotations. It's between myself, Christian, or Edwin. And I'm very excited to see some other women stepping up and hosting Champions U in the near future, because I definitely love to see more girls involved in the space. So a bit about me, for those of you that may not know me, my name is Rosanna. I'm one of the top coaches with, of course, the company, but also as well one of the educators here with Champions U. And my background is mainly in, well, I have a finance background. I was in finance for over 5 years, 5+ years, actually working in finance. I got my license to do investments at the bank. So I was a financial advisor. I had to get licensed for that. And it wasn't the easiest test, but I passed it and I did that. So I was involved with the stock market mainly. Forex and crypto was completely foreign to me. I did not know how it worked exactly, even though the banks make a lot of money with Forex. And a lot of us are involved in Forex when we travel with the exchange of currency. When I started my journey here, I dabbled into Forex. I started with Forex and I'm happy I did, because that made my learning journey with crypto a lot easier. I normally am more focused on crypto, but today we're going to go over some Forex with you guys. And because I know we have some new people and I kind of want to go over, I want to go over like pips and percentages and things to look at that maybe some of you as beginners may not be aware of or neglect a little bit. But also it's just good to have that refresher for those of you that are aware and that know what I'm going to be talking about. I cannot wait to see your participation in the chat, because it's going to be more of like an engaging session, not so much me just talking through. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. So those of you that know, I mean, of course, feel free to share your knowledge in the chat. But let's get started. So how are my, oh, shout out to those that were at the GCC house. It was great seeing those of you that traveled from the US or other places in Canada. And I look forward to see you guys very soon, whenever that will be. But big shout out to them. It's always nice having people visiting us here in Toronto. Okay, so let's get this going. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go over some basics of Forex and some fundamentals, like really the foundation. And a lot of this you guys can find in Champions U. Before I even get started with this, I do want to say, those of you that are new, if you haven't looked at, like, we updated the launch sheet for the customer side. So if you haven't taken a look at that, definitely do. If you're new and you started within the last week or two, then 100% you looked through that document. But if you were here with the old document, definitely recommend you look through it, the new one. And a key part of a beginner's trading plan is to go through Champions U or the what is it, the Market Pro, and go through those sessions, those videos, that education first. And in the meantime, of course, practice on a demo. But practicing on a demo can be pretty easy, especially if you learn how to copy the alerts into your demo. I mean, it's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. However, there are things you need to look at. So a lot of times people, when they practice on demos, their biggest struggle is, well, they're copying and pasting everything they see in the alerts channels. However, they're not really taking in what they should be looking for. Because just because you get, as an example, 5 notifications in a day, doesn't necessarily mean that all those 5 are for you. And what do I mean by this is, of course, on a demo, you can practice with everything, but once you get to a real account and trading on a real account with your real money, you want to know what to look at. You want to know how much you're willing to risk when it comes to the pips. A few channels will tell you the risk involved. So they'll say, okay, well, if the stop loss, you're going to be minus, let's say 30 pips, then you'll have an idea of like, okay, can I really afford to risk that amount? Or can I only risk 10 pips as an example? So knowing how to read that and knowing what that even means is going to allow you to really analyze things properly and not have you making mistakes. Because yes, it is somewhat of a copy paste system, but not really. You need to know at least the fundamentals, the basics, so you avoid blowing your accounts on a real account, of course, live with your real money. So we're going to start with like some basic stuff. And of course, this is where the interaction, the engagement comes in. So if you guys know the answers, definitely share it in the chat. Let me just open the chat here on my screen so I can see. Okay, cool. So of course, we all know what this is. It's just like, we all know this is what we're looking at when we're talking about Forex. Charts, candles. Of course, there's a completely different training when it comes to candles and what different patterns mean. That's more close to analysis. I personally don't like getting into analysis on Champions U just because I know, not too complex at least, because I know not everyone here is at that level. There are some beginners and some people that maybe haven't even gone through the Market Pro or the Champions U. So I don't want to overwhelm or confuse people with advanced analysis. So that's something that I won't really do on here unless there's like a specific session. I don't know if we'll ever do a session for like people that have that level. But what is a pip? Let me ask you all now. Time for engagement, time for participation. Who knows what a pip is? Typically 4th decimal value in most currency pairs. Blake, it's okay. Yeah, so it's the smallest standard unit of value in a currency pair. So Daniel has it here. So it's like normally the 4th decimal points, or 4th decimal points. However, when you look at the Japanese yen, it's an exception. So what do I mean by that? Here. So this is more of like a visual, by the way. So generally currency pairs. What's a currency pair, by the way? That's pretty basic. I don't feel like I need to get into details of that, but just in case, this here is a currency pair. So when you see, let's say Euro USD or here USD Japanese yen, like that's a currency pair. And Forex, again, I'm not going to get into what Forex is specifically. We should all ideally know what Forex is. And if you don't, well, you can go back to the university, the education and all that. But this is what it looks like. So what do we mean by 4th decimal point? It's, if you look at the number here, it's the 4th one. Now, what they mean by Japanese yen being the exception, it's here, it's always the 2nd. So as you notice, these numbers, these look very different, these prices that we look at. And that's what you normally see with the Japanese yen. So anything that has the Japanese yen, you'll notice that when you look at it. So pay attention. If you haven't noticed it, definitely be on the lookout, because it's something important to know, especially in conversation. If you're having conversation with people about Forex, currency pairs, pips, and all that, it's good info. So when we look at this now that we know, okay, so when we look at Euro USD, the price, let's say, went from 1.1476 to 1.1486. What was the gain or loss in pips? 10 pips gain or loss? There's something in my eye, sorry. Um, gain? What do you mean depends? So it moved, um, here, so let's just say in standard way. So we're not looking at like, oh, if you put a buy, but then it was a sell, then you lost. Or if you put a sell and then it went up, then you, not that, let's just say like in terms of the numbers, it went up 10 pips. So you understand why though, right? Because we look at these. Let's try a different one. So here we're looking at the Australian USD. Yeah, perfect. Basic math, right? Daniel, what is that? What's this language? I don't understand. Are you trying to be like these UK rappers, Daniel? What did you guys do to Daniel at the GCC house? Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so here, the price for USD JPY, the price is at 112.06. You sell, so you enter, you sell. However, you lose 3 pips. What's the price at? So if you enter to sell, but you lost 3 pips, what's the price? Let's say Nico, 12.9. Everyone says 03, 9, 9. Who do you think's right? Okay, okay. Daniel, you were wrong. No, I don't like saying wrong. Okay. I don't like using that word, but you know, I guess the ones that guess correctly, 09. Perfect. So now price is at 12.06. You sell and you profit 5 pips. Perfect. Nico, it's okay. I know you meant to put 0.1, but your finger slipped and you put 1.1. It's all good. Too much empanadas, eh? Your fingers are slippery from the oil. Yeah. Cool. So now let's look at lot sizes. Okay. Hold on. Let me just move you guys out of the way because I can't see my own screen here. So lot size is very important because again, so the reason why we went through this first part, it's very basic, very simple, but also you want to get familiar with the lingo of things, just how in crypto people talk about altcoins and all that, and knowing what an altcoin is, different terms like diamond hands and all that. There's terminology in conversation. And also it's great for you to know these things because let's say you're out somewhere and you hear somebody talking about stuff, then you're like, wait, that's a crypto term, that's a forex term, that's a stock term. Like it's really good because then guess what can happen? You can start conversation with them. But of course, knowing how to make conversation and knowing how to explain your position and what the outcome is by using things like, oh, I'm up 5 pips or I'm down 3 pips or whatever. Like that's pretty basic. It's simple, but I wanted you guys to kind of get warmed up and have that engagement and, you know, do some simple math. So with this, it's very important, and all of you are familiar with what this is, of course. This is something that cannot be disregarded when you're entering your trades. It's very, very, very important. Now, of course, market execution is typically the standard setting. There's other options, which we won't get into today, but there are other options you can place for, let's say, if you're not doing an active trade right now, but you're setting it up for, let's say, a future outcome and you're just leaving it there, then yeah, there's other things you can select. But market execution is basically the standard. It's the automatic one that you have there. You don't really have to touch that for general trades that when you're receiving alerts or if you're entering a trade yourself. But this is very important. This is very important because this will determine your, I guess, this is important to risk management, and I'll explain why. So when we look at lot sizes, and again, all of this is found, if you aren't 100% sure, go through the university, Market Pro, it has all of this. And the university on the iGenius back office, you will see this exactly the way I have it here is how it is in the university. And this is something I got from the university a long time ago when I first started, like 2 years ago, or a bit more than that, when I started learning about Forex. And this was really important to me because when I first started, I didn't really understand this. I didn't understand. I just put whatever I saw other people doing, and that's the worst thing you can do. You really want to understand what the lot sizes mean and what type of trading account you're supposed to have ideally. Now, it's recommended, me personally, I always recommend if you want to have a good, proper experience with trading, ideally you want to have $1,000, and I'm talking about a real account. You want to have $1,000 minimum in your account. Now, I know a lot of people start with $100, $200, $500, $600. It's still possible, especially if you're trading at 0.01, but the chances of you blowing your account is a lot higher, especially if you're touching things like gold. So 1,000 is recommended. I will always recommend 1,000 to have a proper experience, a proper gauge of what trading is really like. However, I understand that not everyone can start off with that amount. As long as you are practicing proper risk management. And the thing is, if you're starting on a lower amount, you can't be entering that many trades in a day because then you're over leveraging yourself. And that's why we recommend 1,000. It's just like the AI. It's like the crypto elite, the AI. A lot of people wonder, well, why do I have to put $1,000 in my AI? Why can't I just open an AI account with 100, 200, 300? It's the same thing. To have a proper AI experience, especially because we hold the AI to a high standard, we want to make sure people can actually benefit from it and have multiple trades being entered. If you have a lower amount with your AI, then you won't experience that. Whereas 1,000 is definitely a great starting point, which is why they recommend 1,000 minimum. So you can see activity, you could see action within your account. It's the same thing, even if you're doing it manually. Because imagine you're getting like 5, 6 alerts in a day. And depending on your account size, if you really want and you're okay with the risk involved with each one, you could enter all of them. But if you have a small account, ideally you don't want to be entering all of them because then you're over leveraging yourself. You're not practicing proper risk management. And that's where, let's say 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 6 trades that you've entered hit your stop loss, then you've reduced your account size by a lot if you have a small one to begin with. So you don't have a lot of trading room. So here, this is just a breakdown. 0.01, which is many of you are familiar with, which many people start with. It's of course called a micro lot size, and you're trading at $1,000 ideally. But a lot of people, you know, still $100, $200, $300. Okay, cool. It's your discretion, your choice. But ideally you're trading at $1,000, 0.05, 5K, 0.30, 30K. And you can tell like 0.01, 0.02 would be 2K, 0.03 would be 3K, and so on and so forth. So when you look at 0.50, that's obviously 50K. 1 is 100K, 1.5 is 150. These are the ideal amounts. Some people are trading at one, they're trading this size with like I won't even say this size. They're trading, yeah, I've seen people enter this with like a few thousand in their account, and it's like, well, that's very risky. Of course, if you win the trade, then you've made a lot of money, but it's very risky. So you don't want to be that person. Or even people trading at 0.1 with $600 in their account, and it's like, really, that's also over leveraging and over risking. So this is the ideal format, what's recommended. It's what's in the university, it's what's taught. However, of course, if you have under 1,000, you ideally want to stick to the 0.01 sizes. So here, if we look at this example, we're going to do some more math. So if we're looking at a standard lot size, which I think Edwin said the other day, standard lot, which is why 1 is always the one that you see on your account when you go into your MetaTrader. So if every pip is worth $10, okay, it goes up 10 pips. What's the gain? So you have your standard lot size, and every pip is worth $10. It goes up 10 pips. What's the gain? Oh, what's up, Edwin? $100, yes. Who said 100 first? Judy. Nico, no, Judy did. It's okay, it's okay. But yeah, that's awesome. Daniel backing up your boy. Cool. So again, plus 10 pips. So it went up 10 pips, right? At $10 a pip. 10 times 10, 100. Now let's do another one. Micro lot size, so 0.01. Every pip is worth 10 cents, and you have a gain of 50 pips. What's the gain? Judy's fast, eh? Cool, cool. Absolutely. $5. I like that. Now, if we're looking at this, so 0.10, 0.10 is $1 a pip, meaning 0.30 is $3 a pip. Okay. So what's the gain if it's up 20 pips? Anyone can answer but Edwin. I know Edwin's probably biting his tongue. You're ripping your hair out. Is that why your camera's off? You don't want people seeing you ripping your hair out. Cool. Okay, we're getting a bunch of numbers here. 80, 60, $2. Okay, let's move on. The suspense. 20 pips at $3 a pip, $60. I mean, yeah, and Jack got it. So you need to work on your math. I mean, don't you guys have a calculator on your phone? So the 10, no, so just to clarify, the reason why I put 10 here or 0.10 is just to say like this is $1 a pip, just so it makes sense. Because here it doesn't have like, obviously I'm not gonna put 0.01 everything up until 1.50 or else it would be, So that's just more to show what it is. So then this makes sense. So it's not like, and again, I broke it down this way because I understand there are some people that are complete beginners to this. So it makes sense to them. So it's not just jumping from one thing to another of like 0.30 is $3. And it's like, where did that come from? But yeah. So we good with that? So this is very important. The reason why, so I'm going to tell you why this is important. This is very important because just how you see the number here. So let's say $60. Here it's $5, $100. Why is it, I'm gonna ask you actually before I even say anything. Why is this important to know? So if you're not good at math, you better have a calculator when you're looking at these channels. Why is this good to know? To evaluate your gains and losses so you know how much you can lose. Yes. What else? This is important to know so you can tell at a glance how profitable a trade could be. Okay, so I mean, all of you are on the right track. It's exactly that. You want to know how much you're gonna be losing, let's say, if with that stop loss. So if you're looking at because we have a lot of channels, especially those of you that are elite members and you have access to more. We have a lot of channels when it comes to trading, not just with crypto, but with Forex as well. And especially if you're looking at those gold trades and those high risk trades, it's very important because a lot of people say it's copy paste when you're looking at these trade ideas being sent by the experts into the channels. It can be copy paste, but you don't want to treat it only like copy paste. You need to know what you're looking at, because a lot of times if you can see, okay, well, this is how much I have in my account, this is what I'm trading at, and let's say the pips based on what the stop loss is, if you enter that one, if let's say you're losing $100 with that stop loss, if it hits stop loss, but your account is only like you'd be losing half your account with that, then that's not a trade worth doing if you are not risk tolerant. Some people are risk tolerant, others are not. And if you're not risk tolerant, then that's not a trade you want to put. Yeah, you might, to practice on a demo, absolutely, enter all of them just to see. But also don't get blinded by things, because on a demo, it's so easy to put whatever number and then you have a trade. Like you see a lot of people that promote their demos and then you see they made 5,000 in a day. But if you look at the lot sizes they're putting in, it's very unrealistic. So you can tell who's BSing and who's not. Because someone that made 5,000 in a day, let's say, and their lot size is ridiculous, and you know these amounts here, to have that lot size, you should be having this type of money. A lot of the times people don't have this type of money in there. So either they're really bad at risk management or they're showing off a demo. And when you show off a demo, you don't get a real feel of what it's like. So, and it's easy to get blindsided by things, because in a demo, you can easily profit if you're putting a trade, entering something of like 0.30, and then maybe you've made like, I don't know, just random example, $300 in a trade. And it's like, wow, this is the type of money I can make. Then you move on to a real account, a live account, and you're making those same mistakes, and you're not really taking into account the risk management and what the pips really mean and what the stop loss really means and how much you can lose out on if it hits stop loss. Then you're going into things blindly. And so that's why, even though it's copy paste, these are trade ideas the experts are sending you. And it's very important to know how much you can lose if it hits your stop loss. Now, this one here, as an example, if you're like, you know what, I'm cool losing $5 if it hits stop loss, not a problem, then cool, go ahead. Here, you're okay to lose $60, awesome. But if maybe $60 is something you're not willing to lose based on your size and other trades you have going on, then it's not a smart idea to enter that, knowing that, you know, the stop loss could potentially lose you $60, let's say. So that's why it's very important. And these conversations are something you need to be aware of. If you notice anyone, those of you especially that have, you know, are in a mentorship role, and you notice people on your team that maybe perhaps aren't exercising the right risk tolerance or the right lot sizes, then, you know, that's something you can know as well. But overall, for your own learning experience, it's very important. And also, you don't want to be showing off the wrong thing to the wrong people. If you are learning how to trade correctly, you don't want to be showing off a demo account or even a real account with lot sizes that don't make sense, because then it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing, or like you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm sure many of you don't want that. And you want to learn things properly, and you want to show people that you're actually gaining the right information and that you know what you're doing, or that at least you're learning to do things properly. So that's why it's very important. And that's why I wanted to go through these things with you. And again, this here is a standard lot, but you can change it, and make sure you're changing it accordingly to these here. This is just more so terminology, but like Edwin said, standard lot, which is why it's automatically that, but you want to adjust it And in terms of like, what things mean in your demo account or just on the MetaTrader app, I'm not going to go over that with you because all of you should know that. Again, if not, it's literally explained in the Back Office University Market Pro. If you haven't checked that out, definitely check it out. Exactly, gambling 100%. The dollar amount per pip. Yeah, so that's something you want to look at here. Again, I didn't put them all in order here, or else it'd be a long list, but you always want to look at this, the lot size, a dollar. Like this is something you should know, and if you want to revise it, I believe we had a chart with these breakdowns. I don't know if we still have it because I know we refreshed the chat, the university. If we come across it, we'll drop it in there. I don't know if we still have access to it, but it broke it down nicely. So then you guys are aware. But this is something, again, to keep in mind when you're looking at trades from all the channels you're in. Doesn't matter what membership you're on. My first practice trade ever entered wrong, and it made my account look amazing since then I have fixed that. Yeah. So I will say, I'll be completely transparent with you guys as I have been this whole presentation, but I will share something. When I first started my trading journey, I wasn't paying attention to these things. I wasn't. And I was just literally copying and pasting. And I would see, okay, stop loss. Okay, as long as I enter my stop loss, I'll be good because it'll kick me out and I won't lose more. But what I didn't realize is I wasn't paying attention to how much that stop loss actually can bring me down. And because of that, I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money in my first, I think the most I lost when I first started trading because I wasn't paying attention to this stuff. And also because I was very in that, oh, if I lost this, I'm going to make it back type of mindset. Completely incorrect mindset to have. I believe I lost like $3,000. 3,000? Yeah, I lost $3,000 when I was new in total trading. And I've heard people that lost more, but definitely not a good a good thing to experience, but that helped me become more disciplined. So trading is a journey. It's not something that you're going to master quickly. That's why we always say practice, 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 practice on a demo. Make all the mistakes that you want on a demo. You should be making a lot of mistakes on a demo. And if you feel like everything's gone super perfect on a demo and now you're like rushing to open a live account, I'm pretty sure that you probably didn't practice enough on a demo if you haven't experienced some bad mistakes. Because the last thing I would want for you is to experience these mistakes on a live account. You don't want that. And especially not forgetting to put your stop losses. And the worst mistake that one can do is guessing, because a lot of times, we look when we start learning and educating ourselves about, the patterns and looking at the movements of the charts, we start to think, oh, this is going up. I'm going to enter a trade and, I'm going to enter a few and wait for it and whatever. And the next thing you know, it goes the complete opposite. And you're playing a guessing game and you don't really know what you were doing. And then you end up losing a lot of money or you blow your account. I've blown accounts before. Again, it's not nice. It's not a good feeling. But the main thing is obviously leaving emotions out of all of it. And if you lost money, just know that's part of the game. It's part of the game, it's part of learning. And that's why, we practice on a demo. But if you lose money on a real account, that's part of the game. And that's why your lot sizes and your risk management is very important. So you don't lose so much. So you're gaining more than losing. It's all about discipline. And it's all about practice. And of course, taking advantage of everything you have. And I know Edwin shared a lot of great stuff, and Christian as well, on these calls about risk management. There's a risk management training. I think it was Edwin's training that is on Champions U, the YouTube channel for Champions. So if you want a refresher, it's there, and definitely recommend you check it out. But yeah. What else? I think that's it for that. I wanted to do a quick little Forex session with all of you in terms of numbers, because that's very important. Not just looking at charts and all that. Analyzing is obviously the next level, but knowing the basics so you're not blowing your money, and you can make some money instead. Cool. Any questions? By the way, Champions U, I want you guys to treat it like an open space. The chats, Champions University, we have people sharing their results there, people sharing their progress, their journey, which is great. And if you have any questions related to your demos and stuff, I mean, obviously you could reach out to your mentors or the people that got you started. Absolutely. Like, they should be the first people you go to. But if there's something you'd like to share, something you've learned, definitely drop it in the chat, because other people can benefit from that. And we want to make it like a very interactive space with everybody. So don't feel like just because maybe you don't have as much experience, you can't contribute much to it. There's definitely a lot you can contribute, something you learned, a lesson, an observation, something you heard. Just share it in the chat. It's an open space. We want to help each other grow. And that's why we're here. Cool. Time went by very quickly. It's already 5 to 8. All right, awesome. So we'll wrap it up there. Awesome session. And if you guys have any specific recommendations of what you'd like to see on future Champions U, let us know in the Champions U chat. Where can I find the link for the video that Edwin did for risk management? Edwin, I don't know if you have it anywhere in your stash of videos you've made. If you have it saved anywhere, you can drop it in the chat. If not, I'll just look for it in the Champions YouTube. Yeah, it's on Champions, it's on the YouTube channel, but it was a few months ago, so I believe you would have to scroll a lot. But if Edwin has it on hand, then I'm sure he could drop it in the chats. If not, then I'll drop it in there. Yeah, okay. Well, Edwin's making people scroll. So cool. I guess scroll and find it. That's what Edwin says. But yeah, it's there. It's there. Okay, we got to work for his video. Cool. Awesome. Have a good rest of your Tuesday, everyone. And I'll see you guys in the chats. Bye.